Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Laymen Daily Show. How is everybody? Redfall news. I'm milking that baby. I saw the comment section. We're milking that as much as we can. Some other news, some trailers today. I'm trying different times, you see. Trying different times because all my audience is all over the world. Trying to figure out what the best time is to do this. So I used to do it 8 a.m. my time. I'm probably going to go back to the 8 a.m. my time. But we will see. Now, let's get to the drop. Bit of news, bit of Redfall, bit of trailers, bit of other things, bit of memes, bit of AI stuff, everything. Let's do it. All right. How's everyone in the chat today? Right. So, how's everyone in chat? Everyone good? I'm good. Hope you're good too. Omar, Laymen Gaming! GMan Laymen, sorry mate, of course. Rafa says, hello from Brazil. Hello my friend, thank you so much for tuning in. Sam, haven't you got a job to go to? I work from home, so I can kind of do my own thing, do my own times. Omar, love you Sam. I love you too, man. You're a good dude. So, what's happening in the world of gaming? Okay, Microsoft reportedly knew Redfall would be a disaster, total disaster. A month before it launched, Microsoft reportedly knew that Arcane Studios' Austin Redfall would end up being a disaster a month prior to the game's release. Interesting. Because if I remember correctly, oh my god, I keep doing that. Okay, turn those off. If I remember correctly, Phil was like, you know, we thought it was going to be double digits, much better than it was reviewed. We had no idea. Nonsense. Speaking in the latest episode of Last of the Nintendogs, Jeff Grubb, who is known for his connections in the game industry, stated that one such connection at Microsoft told him that Redfall was going to be a disaster. Grubb thought it best to wait until the game's launch to decide whether this would be the case. However, in retrospect, he felt that he should have had more faith in his source. I understand that, right? Someone's going to be like, hey, they're going to be bringing out a game. It's an absolute mess. It sucks. It's terrible. Just FYI. Jeff Grubb's going to come out and go, everybody, I heard from a source. Can't tell you the source. It's a special source, all right? But it's apparently going to be horrendous. And then it's good. Then Jeff looks silly. So I understand that he wants to wait for that, right? Why would you come out with something if you're not entirely sure if that's going to be correct? He continued, he recalled that his source knew what he was talking about, given that the information was coming from the Microsoft side. It meant that they were aware of that Redfall is in a rough state. Now, it goes on to continue. It goes on and talks more about this, but ultimately, this really goes against what Phil Spencer was saying. Phil was all like, hey, God, we don't know what's going on here. You know, we double digits higher. That's what we thought. We thought it was going to be double digits. That's how good we thought it was going to be. And let me tell you, we want them to creatively to aspire to their best possible, aspirations. Firstly, if anyone played this in Microsoft, they would have known that any creative aspirations they had, they were not being met. Number two, if that is the case, that they knew it was an absolute dumpster fire, and then Phil's going to come out and be like, hey man, I'm letting the team down. Can't take responsibility, but, didn't know this was going to be such an L. That's a lie, and it changes the color that we're going to be looking at that whole Phil Spencer interview, which was 40 minutes. I like Phil Spencer. Don't get me wrong. In the two-part episode that I did it over a two-parter, right, to milk the views. No, it was too long to do in one episode. But I like Phil. I think Phil was talking from the heart. But that doesn't mean that he's still not going to color things or frame things or phrase things in a certain way that's going to make it sound like, like he is less to blame. But if it is the case that they knew it was a total disaster and they kind of stepped aside anyway and let this thing go gold and let it ship, that's even more damning for Phil. And Phil's definitely in a position right now where we don't know what the future holds for Phil. I mean, it's as simple as that. I mean, as I said in my previous episodes, anyone that thinks Phil's position is strong and is guaranteed for the next, not even 6 months, not even a year, in the next 6 months is delusional. I don't see him being the CEO in the next year or two. I really don't. And if Starfield is absolutely horrendous, actually, let's just say it's not even horrendous. Let's just say it's like okay. Let's just say it's one of those games that comes out and people are like, I didn't mind it, but it didn't, it wasn't game of the generation. It wasn't something that made me believe in Bethesda or Xbox or the Xbox studio umbrella of many studios. Or it didn't make me believe that Phil Spencer was getting Xbox back on track. That's enough. That's enough for everyone to be like, okay, cool. Phil, it's been fun. There's the door. That can definitely happen, I think, for Phil. Good to see you again, That's RRHR. So we're just going to call him every time a CEO speaks, it's a lie. It's probably the most that we've ever seen a CEO talk, real talk, I think. I mean, as I said before, that is the most important interview that Phil Spencer has ever given. I'm sorry. Not that I've watched every single interview that Phil's ever given in the entire existence of Phil Spencer. But that's definitely the one that's made the most headlines, that's got people talking and really made everyone pause and really ask those big questions about like, hey, is this the right captain for the ship? What's the future of Phil Spencer? What's the future of Bethesda and Xbox? And have they ultimately given up? That was the first time that I looked at Phil Spencer and felt like, whoa, this dude's given up. He's given up big time. Another thing that happened a couple of days ago, I saw this. Xbox wasn't involved with Redfall, but it's still blamed for its quality. I completely think that that is true, though. As I said previously, when you purchase a third party, it becomes a first party. The stakes are raised. You start caring more about the quality in terms of a game, in terms of how it's associated with a console. If a first party is terrible, or if it's an absolute dumpster fire, which Redfall kind of was, then that is going to affect how you think of Xbox. If Marvel vs. Capcom sucks, I don't think, man, PlayStation, man, bad way. I played it on PlayStation 5. So PlayStation is in a bad way. It doesn't work that way, But the moment Capcom was bought by Xbox or PlayStation, then you would be like, oh shit, okay. Starting to really associate them with quality. I'm starting to associate Marvel vs. Capcom or whatever, right? Or Resident Evil or like anything like that. I'm starting to associate the quality with those consoles. So of course, it doesn't matter if Xbox wasn't involved, but I will say if Xbox does not now get involved big time with Starfield, which they have said, okay, they've come out on record. I have seen that across Twitter, that they are now saying that they're going to be very much more involved in making sure that Starfield is going to be a good quality product. If we don't see that going forward, I mean, everything has to change after Redfall. Everything has to change after Redfall. I mean, if we see the same thing from with Starfield, like this, just like, hey, we want them to creatively aspire to whatever they want to do. It's absolute nonsense. This has to be the moment where they're like, whoa, we fundamentally need to change the way that we do everything with our studios. We need to, Xbox needs to have the final say. You cannot give creative autonomy anymore after there's post Redfall and pre-Redfall. You know what I mean? Natsu says, at the very least, Starfield has to be a good game, even with all bugs, or even with all the bugs it'll have. I agree with that. It needs to be a good game. It needs to get people talking. It needs to get people feeling like, holy shit, Xbox is delivering something here. Because yes, we can say it's Bethesda, but now again, we're associating that with Bethesda. And I just hope it is good. Like, as much as it's good to like dunk on a meme and whatever, and make 3 or 4 episodes out of one game, am I right, guys? Woohoo! We want quality games. We actually want good stuff. We don't want to be sitting here 7 episodes in talking about Redfall, do we? I mean, I could do it. We can meme about it all day. But we want Starfield to be in a position where it makes us feel like, holy shit, okay, this was worth paying for. This is worth playing. This is worth putting our time and effort in. And I think that that's what we ultimately want. As much as it's nice to have a bit of a meme, people are desperate for quality from Xbox, that's for sure. Apart from if you just like PlayStation, you just want to see Xbox more in pain, then fair enough. Absolutely. And is sup, Laymen? Hey, man. Good to see you. Danny Owen says, the thing about Xbox now that it's getting old, it is that this is what fans have been waiting for. This is the year. I mean, I feel like this is the year that fans have been waiting for a long time now. the previous year there was next to nothing. There was no AAA games, about like Grounded and whatever, like, but there was no actual AAA games that came out. And I think that's interesting. And if we see this year being another year that Xbox flounders and doesn't really deliver, sad news. In other news, Final Fantasy 16 has been banned in Saudi Arabia. Its official ratings board has confirmed. Now, this ultimately says that, you know, it's not being cleared. It was actually released on Wednesday last week. The General Commissions for Audiovisual Media stated that the game had not been cleared for release in the country. It's a bit hazy as to why the reasons are. They haven't given those clear reasons as to why it's not being released. Maybe there's some boy on boy kissing. Maybe there's some girl and girl kissing. There's some girl and girl kissing. Pre-order. Pre-order. Who knows, right? But, you know, I think we've seen this before with previous games. Anything that's not extremely conventional, I have a problem with. I, for one, who gives a shit, right? I'm looking forward to this game. I haven't sunk my teeth into a Final Fantasy game for a long time. I'm going to be excited to play this. I'm OG Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 12 a little bit. X2, lol. 10. You know, so I really haven't jumped into a lot of Final Fantasy over the last few years. So I want to jump into this. I'm excited to see this. But that is the word on the street that it has been banned. For some reason. You know. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe you can see an ankle. Holy shit, there's an ankle. I can see the woman's ankle. Nah, out. Nah. Thread your gel. Thread your gel. Sweetie says the Diablo 4 game doesn't look awful, so that is something to look forward to. The Harry Potter game wasn't bad either. I've got something on the Harry Potter game later too, but I also got something on Diablo 4. Very excited for Diablo 4, man. I mean, the beta was fantastic. The beta is actually this weekend. Oh no, is it live now? Shit, it's 4 or 5 days. It's going to be called the something slam. What's it called again, guys? Something slam. Server slam. Server slam. So I'm excited for that. When I played the beta, I just could not put that thing down. Like, I played all the characters that I could at the time. It just really made me very excited again for Diablo. I mean, Diablo has always been one of my favorite games. Diablo Immortal. I actually played a lot of Diablo Immortal. I played a lot of that shit when that was in kind of beta. I could play it on my phone or whatever. I never bought a single thing on it. I played like, fuck man, 40 hours, 50 hours of that thing. A decent amount on a phone. And I thought it was fun. But I know the microtransactions and the entire model of that thing was just horrendous. But I just made it my business not to put a single cent into that shit. Not to say that I'm against games that are free to play. Free to play games, especially on mobile, need to be created in a certain way that kind of incentivizes the consumer to purchase something. I'm not against that. A developer puts their hard time into a product. Like, I'm not saying that they should be doing it for free, but predatory monetization in games for a long time. You guys know what I think on that, right? There's definitely a way to do it. You know, Overwatch 2, for instance, right? Doesn't affect the game. Doesn't affect anything in terms of if you're in competitive mode, if you're in quick play, doesn't affect you. All right. Now you do have to purchase the character, but you don't even have to do that in Overwatch 2. Overwatch 2, you can just play the game for, 20 hours or so, give or take, and you got that new character for that season. You've got him for good. You don't have to pay for them. I haven't purchased a single character for Overwatch 2, for 2 or 3 that have come out since, Not to say that it's not to say that I wouldn't purchase something in Overwatch, but I think the prices are ridiculous. But I digest. All right, who's ready for some Diablo? I certainly am. They're doing like ultimates. I can't remember if there was ultimates now in Diablo 3. Was there? I played that game for ages. I cannot remember that. Oh, that looks sick. Oh, yeah. I'll just play that in the background. So, look. I think Diablo 4 is in a really good spot right now. I think a lot of people, as much as it was a little bit buggy, are really excited for this title. I mean, it's Diablo, right? But like it just landed so well when I played it. I just loved it, man. Loved it. Matthew says, I never purchase anything in free to play games. I mean, me neither. But I would. Hearthstone. Oh, fuck, man. I spent a lot of money in Hearthstone back in the day. I probably spent $1,000 on Hearthstone between, I don't know, 2014 when it came out to 2016 when I played it. I love that shit. That was classic, like, pay to win. That was classic pay to win. But those games, you have to. You can't play it otherwise. And I was so hooked on Hearthstone. Like, I could not put that down. That was what I would play every time I was commuting to work and stuff. I was just the best way. It was just, I was so, when it first came out on PC and iPad, did it come out on PC and then it came out on iPad, right? Then it came out on phone or something like that. But when it came out on phone, I was just completely hooked. That's all I did. All the time. All the time. Yeah, I'm worried it will get repetitive, but they have said, the developers have said for Diablo that we're expecting to have a new campaign story-driven experience every 3 months. Every 3 months, man. That's a lot of coding. That's a lot of storytelling. That's a lot of experience that you can have in this game. Kind of moving away also from the DLC model that we've seen from previous Diablos. I think that's kind of good, right? For you to play Diablo and then just keep going into like whatever it was called, hell, and then like nightmare mode or whatever. That's all well and good, but like to wait for a big DLC drop, yes, you can make a lot of money out of that, but you are waiting sometimes a year or two for that new experience. I'd much prefer get like smaller incremental experiences every 3 months. Absolutely. And if it works well, who knows? I mean, if this is the thing, right? If Diablo 4 is really, really successful, has a very healthy player base, and consistently is making money for itself, and every 3 months we're getting new content, that may not make the studio feel like they need to have a Diablo 5 in the next 5 to 10 years. We may see it even longer, you know, if this model is working. Not to say that we would never see a Diablo. I think we would see a Diablo 5. But again, this model hopefully is going to be good for them. Speaking of that, there's some model skill tree stuff.
It's a late game system that once you've completely filled out your skill tree, you think you have a build, it will really let you delve into the theory crafting and the depth of Diablo 4's skill system.
And these boards, they can move through them, spending their Paragon points, and they have nodes that give them very basic stats like intellect or dexterity. We also have more powerful nodes. We have rare nodes that have different effects where they can totally modify a skill to do something additional or different, or they can even make new connections between skills so that players can have new ways to play their character.
I think this looks really interesting in terms of how much kind of the complexity of it, how much unique play builds can maybe come out of this. I think that you can probably, again, like modify the way that certain abilities are going to do certain things. Certain bosses, you might want to do a certain skill set or a skill tree that's going to, like, you know, change the way that you can play that game, and it can be very unique. Like, I think that's kind of cool, right? Look, there's so much there. I'm going to bring this bigger. You can't really see it. God damn it, OBS. But there's so much stuff to explore there to see and create different ideas and stuff. So that's really cool.
Legendary nodes are equivalent to legendary powers, where they have more powerful effects that can change the builds and ways that characters play.
That's all I got to Diablo today, but again, as much as I can throw in Diablo stuff, I want to do that big time. I think you just described a live service game. Thank you from Twitch. I mean, ultimately, I think this is going to be very much a live service game. Live service is a dirty word. Live service became a dirty word because it was just filled with grindy nonsense and overpriced shit, and it just became this like doom scrolling thing where they would just try and put things in to keep you hooked, but the byproduct of that, I think, can be that the content itself suffers. So live service isn't always great, and live service models have proven in the past to be grindy over time, just kind of diminishing the overall quality. And the monetization practices of live service has not always been great for the consumer, you know. But I think if they get it right, and not to mention, this is going to be a full price game when it first comes out. So I hope that they do this right. Absolutely. Matthew says, live service is fine if they don't gouge you, which they always do. Absolutely, Matthew. I completely agree with that. You know, that's the problem with live service. Once they kind of say, yes, this is a live service, then they kind of buckle up for the idea that they need to constantly make money out of the consumers, right? Now, again, if you're making content, I believe a developer deserves to be paid for that, right? It's about monetizing it properly, or at least rewarding the consumer to stay in the population pool and keep the game vibrant and popular. And those people that don't necessarily want to spend money or spend as much money, but they're willing to spend their time in it, I think that they should be rewarded too. Absolutely. In other news, which is very game, it's all about games today, guys. Ed Sheeran wins the Marvin Gaye copyright infringement lawsuit. Now, this is important, okay? Because I'm a big-time songwriter, okay? I don't know if you've heard my stuff. It's got like 4 views. But, dude, a representative from Marvin Gaye was trying to sue Ed Sheeran for the Let's Get It On and Thinking Out Loud. Now, just think of those two songs in your head. Let's get it on, right? And when your legs don't work like they used to before. Do you think of that song? Do you at all think of that? Do you think of the Marvin Gaye song when you think of Thinking Out Loud? It's the most ridiculous thing ever. And it was connected to the fact that he actually played Let's Get It On off the back of Thinking Out Loud at a concert because they have similar chord structures. You cannot own chord structures. Right? There's only 11 notes on a keyboard before you get back to the same note. There's only 12 notes in total. Naturally, things are going to overlap sometimes. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Huge win here. This is the second legal battle that Ed Sheeran's had to fight in the last year or two. It's just ridiculous. You know? Yeah, so nope. Sweetie says nope. I think you're saying nope to when you think of those two songs, right? It's ridiculous. It's just nonsense. Haddo Shroom says, hey, great to see your face once again from the UK. Great to see your name. Can't see your face, but I'm sure it's a sexy face. Appreciate you, man. That lawsuit is the definition of frivolous. It's just ridiculous, and I just hope it's the last. I just hope it's the last. In other news, did you guys watch the Coronation? The Coronation. There's a giant penis, apparently, that was mowed into the Coronation party location. So someone... Oh, wait, no, this has been put here now. Oh, wait, is this not right? Oh, wait. Oh, this wasn't there when I found this out. Okay, this lawn decoration is in Bath Summer. Okay, so it's maybe not where it is. Damn it, I put it in and then someone had to ruin it today. They're saying it's not actually the place. That's a shame. Well, it's funny anyway because it's still a giant penis. And we're here for serious content in Laymen Gaming, Laymen Daily. Very serious content. And whoever mowed that in is a good dude. Is a good dude. You guys, speaking of Redfall, let's look at some bugs. Oh my god.
I am alive, I am confident, I am badass.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
But look at that AI. I mean, that is some good AI right there. And you bet that was the highest difficulty too. I've seen a lot of videos recently about difficulty at the highest and the enemies just stand there and do nothing. This is like Metal Gear Solid. We finally got a Metal Gear Solid again. It's sneaking around.
You're just...
Be easier. I needed that.
That was my friend, you asshole!
Metal Gear Solid again, sneaking around.
Gotcha! Oh no, death is imminent. A good thing I have my spin move. And good thing that they don't have any die move.
Oh, shit! What?
Oh, you got some shots in then. Good times. Redfall, great time. I don't know how long we have left with the memes for this though. I mean, I remember the Last of Us PC we had maybe a week. I think we got to the end of it now. I wanted to throw it in though. God, it was good fun. It was good times. Speaking of bugs, this doesn't make sense at all. Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom pirated copies surface online. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom has leaked online and pirated copies of the game are now available for download. Previously, we reported that the game might have leaked ahead of its release date. Images of the collector's edition of Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom had surfaced online. This appears to be true as the entire game has now been dumped and can be downloaded online. Now, they didn't give us a link. Not that I would give you the link anyway. I'm not here to tell you that I ever downloaded music off LimeWire or never downloaded a movie off Pirate Bay. Never. But I've actually never downloaded a game. Legit. I don't even know how to do that. Because you got to like play it through a certain emulator and shit. But apparently this has happened. Now this is coming out this week. So real shame. Real shame. But that actually happened like 6 days ago or something. But I wanted to throw it in. Because it's important. It's important because Zelda. And anything Zelda, especially when it comes to pirated stuff, Nintendo hates that shit. So I think they're hot on the trail of trying to figure out where this came from. Hot on the trail. It's a real shame though when this happens because spoilers kind of surface and people start talking about this on Twitter. See, as you guys know, when you're on Twitter, you can just be scrolling, looking at a meme, and then you see Elon Musk say something, and then the next moment you're looking at a spoiler of a game or footage from like GTA 6, which I've seen recently, which I won't put on here because it'll probably get banned. But that's the thing about Twitter, man. There should be like a non-spoiler button. Non-spoiler. But then the creator of the post has to be a good dude and tick, yes, this is a spoiler. Which they wouldn't do. You wouldn't download a car, GE, exactly right. You wouldn't download a Master Sword. I would download a Master Sword. Absolutely. If I could download the Master Sword, absolutely. I'd download a Zelda. Oh yeah, baby. The story in Zelda does not matter, Matthew Longo says. Well, some people think it does. You want to like so aesthetic or visually and the story are very intertwined with Zelda. Like you want to see what Ganon looks like in boss. You want to see what the world looks like. You want to see who those main characters are. Is there going to be the 4 beasts again, that you have to like go and do or whatever. Like that's story in itself. Like Zelda's very visual that way. Where it's very much connected. Very much connected. I already see people spoiling Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's been out for 3 days. I saw that too, man. I saw like post-credit shit. People talking about like the ending or like talking about Chris Pratt's acting and like look at him in this scene. I'm like, come on, man. Don't do that. Not that I really care, but more like people in general. Like Guardians of the Galaxy, I've watched snippets of those movies, but I haven't watched them all. But I know people out there that really do care, and they think that this is kind of one of the greater trilogies that we've seen from Marvel in a while. God, that's a whole other tangent I can go on. I'm so exhausted from Marvel. Fuck, man. I don't want to see Marvel movies right now. The last one I was excited for was Spider-Man, which is like Sony, but like whatever. And Avengers Endgame. That was the last thing I was super excited for. Legit. I just think there's just too many of them, man. There's just too much. They've just saturated the market with Marvel, and people are over it, man. Oh, am I the only one that's over it? I can't be, right? Other people must be so over watching 400 Marvel movies a year and TV shows. I feel like every time I sneeze, there's a new Marvel TV show or something. Matthew Logo, Breath of the Wild had a story. Yeah, kind of like Mario 64. I baked you a cake, come find me. That's enough of a story. I'm in. I want to see what... I want to see this cake. I want to see Peach's cake. Too much garbage, Matthew Longo says about Marvel. Absolutely, there's way too much at the moment. If they did 2 movies a year... Okay, let's just say they did 1 TV show. No, two TV shows and 1 Marvel movie a year. People would flock. Is that enough? Maybe not enough, but I'm just going to use those figures, right? That would make people so much more excited about whatever's coming out from Marvel. Like, how excited do you guys get for the next Batman? The next Batman happens like once every 5 years. Before that, there was like a 10-year hiatus. And even then, there was Batman versus Superman and shit like that. It was like every 5 years or so, right? They just like, they let it simmer. Joker, that was great. Everyone was so excited for that. DC kind of just sporadically will give you something. Doesn't like throw, you know, a million things at you. You know what I mean? This is different. It's a different philosophy. Or they just don't have the manpower or whatever. I don't know what it is, but they just don't spit out as many TV shows and movies. Speaking of TV shows, which is a massive tangent. Man, Succession. Who is watching Succession? I'm not going to spoil anything here, but I'm going to do a review of that. I'm going to do a review of Succession. Final episode next week. Love that shit. Love that that show. Man. Heating up. Big time. Big time. Matthew Longo, Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine PS5 are the most exciting Marvel things. I'm so excited to see what they do with Wolverine. Man, if it's like pretty dark, I think I saw it was going to be R-rated, if I remember correctly. If they do something R-rated in the space of Marvel games, I think there's a massive audience for that. A lot of mature gamers that want to see that. I want to see that. I don't want to see like Logan PG. It's not really his shtick, you know? Like, he's dark, he's troubled, he's violent, he's angry. You know? What else can I throw in there? He's jacked. You know, he's got shit going on in his mind that's not pleasant. And I think that needs to be represented in a very dark and violent way. And that means R-rated. Or something close to that. MA15+. The following program is classified MA15+. You know, that's what you need to see. Hado Shroom says, Sam, I just uploaded a scratch music piece that was entered into a competition. Check it out if you are interested at all. Absolutely. Please put that in the chat. I'm going to look at that later. Absolutely. And everyone in the chat, check that out too. Absolutely. It's great when someone does that. Hope you win. Hope you win, man. Tim Tam says, Tim Tam's nice. I watched the scary series from. Oh, wait, From. That's the name of it? From? I haven't watched From. Is that where you put it as a capital? Yeah, I haven't watched that. I want an R-rated Laymen show. Guys, have you heard about the Laymen OnlyFans? All right? It's spicy memes like you wouldn't believe. Okay. Street Fighter 6 Open Beta 2 announced. Street Fighter 6 had a beta? I didn't even know that. I hope it's good, man. I really hope it's good. I tell you what, there's been some... it's not been great for the previous Street Fighter 5, that's for sure. Speaking of R-rated, this is apparently a mock-up of what we can expect. Oh, you can't really see it, hey? A mock-up of what we can potentially expect from Grand Theft Auto 6. Now, the thing about Grand Theft Auto is it really the next Grand Theft Auto if the map isn't bigger? There isn't more mountains and shit and like more ways to... Now, this is a concept, sorry. This is not anything to go off, but... I mean, look, this is the thing with every Grand Theft Auto. It feels like it always needs to be bigger, better. But it also needs to be, like, politically incorrect. I'm sorry. But Grand Theft Auto, like South Park, is associated with, like, political incorrectness. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's hard, because I remember seeing a post months ago about how they wanted to be a bit more sensitive to kind of the current climate. And that's a worthy pursuit. It's a worthy pursuit. But it's not for Grand Theft Auto. Like if South Park came out and said that, I'd say worthy pursuit, but that's like not going to work with South Park. It just wouldn't work. You know what I mean? So who knows what they're going to be doing with this. But, you know, when it comes out, I've already seen some stuff online of like some leaked footage of one of the characters in a convenience store and whatever. So there's stuff floating around about this. I mean, I'm excited to see what they do with this, of course. And it is, as I said last time I spoke about this, it's always a bit of a phenomenon when there's a Grand Theft Auto. When Grand Theft Auto releases, everyone drops what they're doing and they play it. Or they watch the reviews. Like, they tune in for this shit, right? It always goes a long way. So I'm excited to see what they do with that. Big time. Google has officially announced the Pixel Fold, which I thought was kind of cool because this is their first foldable phone. Now, I feel like when Samsung did it and they did the whole foldable thing, I see a few people using it. I'm like, nah, you know, I didn't know if it was going to fully catch on, but now we're seeing other companies do it. And I actually quite like watching Marcus Brownlee when he does his reviews of shit, especially when it's phone stuff. I wonder when iPhone's going to do their thing. An iPhone foldable phone, are they going to do that? Or maybe it's just going to be like one that rolls out. Like, God knows what iPhone's going to do. But like, you know, I'm actually seeing that this is going to be a thing now. The foldable phone is kind of here to stay. You know? I mean, I've picked it up a few. Have you guys ever picked it up and you're just like, wow, yeah, it's like a tablet. But it feels so fragile, man. It feels so fragile. I don't know. Maybe like when you fold it out, it just feels, if you drop it, like it's a sure you're going to break the screen. And that weird slit in the middle? No joke there, okay? We're talking about the phone. That weird slit in the middle where like it has that crease. It just doesn't look good right now. It looks weird. And anyone that's had the phone for like 6 months or so, it always has that, like, it just looks weathered in the middle, man. Like my iPhone still looks like new, you know? There's no crease that it needs to like open and close and shit. Marcus Brownlee. I'm a pant. Good name, I guess. 20 years, give or take, until what it's good. If that's what you mean about the foldable phone, it's going to be some time before we figure that out. And I wonder if we're going to just start seeing phones that are like I saw some. Have you guys seen those things where it's very bendable screens? Like they're actually quite malleable. I wonder what they're going to do with that. You know, I wonder if we're going to see a time where you can just like roll out a piece of like film that actually has a full screen on it. So you can use a phone, but if you want a bigger tablet, you just roll out something and it has this massive screen. Who knows, man? I'm just seeing the future. Just call me Elon Musk. Okay, I'm seeing the future. Netsu never held one open. Yeah, well, they're weird. Like they feel, I don't know. They feel a bit fragile. They feel a bit new. You know. Skyrim remake rumors. You mean on the Fold? Probably on the Fold. Live service phones. No, yeah. Please no more Skyrim. No one wants to see more Skyrim. For the love of God. Speaking of Hogwarts Legacy, earlier, Hogwarts Legacy has now sold 15 million copies and made over $1 billion. Do you think we're not seeing another Hogwarts Legacy? You're wrong. We're definitely seeing something in this space. It's been a massive hit, right? Aside from, yes, there was definitely a lot of Twitter discussions and whatever. The quality of the game has been quite good. There was a little bit of bugs at the beginning. We saw those on Twitter. But the game itself, it's sold well, and I think it's pretty well respected now. And I think that we're definitely seeing more Hogwarts games. Hogwarts or Harry Potter games. I haven't actually got around to doing this. I played a little bit of Jedi Survivor, but I'll be real with you. I have been hooked on League of Legends Wild Rift on my phone since I had the chest infection the week before. I just cannot stop playing that goddamn game. I've been playing it for years, really. But like, especially at the moment, all I do is play that goddamn game. Oh my God. Eric says, J.K. Rowling stays winning. Well, her IP is very valuable. And I think people still want to play those games. They still want to experience that, you know, regardless of anyone's opinion on J.K. Rowling. Which I don't like, whatever. Like, I'm not going to get into it kind of thing. But the game, the IP itself, I think is something that people grew up with. Their childhoods are connected to Harry Potter. You you know, it's something that people want to be able to separate. They want to be able to separate J.K. Rowling from Harry Potter. And I think that Hogwarts Legacy, I think, shows that that is a very successful IP still that can very much thrive. I mean, of course, it's Harry Potter. Of course, it's freaking successful. What I mean is, regardless of how much online discussion there is, Hogwarts Legacy was still very successful, and we can continue to see more of those. I think this is the worst name ever. If this is the okay, I don't know if this is real. I saw this. Rogue One is getting a sequel, calling it Rogue One 2. Is this real? Or this isn't real? Oh my god, it wasn't real. Damn it. I thought this was real. I even looked it up. We're live, everybody. Yeah, I thought this was real. Okay. Fuck. I was so excited for Rogue One 2 though. Legit. It was a great movie. It should have been called Rogue 2. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, that was the whole point of this story. Okay. But when are they going to do a Rogue 2? Because Rogue One was definitely the best standalone Star Wars ever. Hands down, no questions asked. I think it's the best one that I've seen. Solo was not good. Solo was like okay. But like Rogue One was a really good movie. And I want to watch Andor. Because I still haven't watched Andor. Got him. Now all the comments come through now. Got him good. I got live. That's the beauty of live. See, when you watch it live, things happen. And when they happen, everyone gets to laugh at me, which is great. But Rogue One is definitely something that needs to be followed up. Maybe Rogue One Part 2. There we go. Rogue One and a half or something. Rogue 1.5, Natsu. That's exactly right. Now I'm kind of hoping it's Rogue One 2. Yeah, in the bathroom at work. Absolutely right. I mean, it should. Mercy. Just more on the whole CMA theme. Microsoft has reportedly hired a lawyer known for repeatedly defeating the EU regulators in competition cases as it prepares to appeal the UK's decision to block its acquisition of Activision Blizzard. This is going to go on for a long time now. Now, this whole thing about trying to get some regulatory approval has been spanning 15 months now or something. They've lost the case, and now their deadline was in like June or July to get this all sorted. Now they need an extension. Now they're trying to get these lawyers. As I said, I don't know how this is going to go. Maybe just like the fire will burn out for this entire acquisition, and then they'll move on. Maybe Phil Spencer will be gone by then. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I tell you, I mean, it's heating up. They're trying their best. They're trying their best to win this. But I don't know, man. I don't see it. I don't see it. And the domino effect is if they double down, the CMA double down, as I said before, the UK has given them more regulatory powers now to double down on certain kind of fines that they can give companies up to 10% of their gross income internationally. And also, the CMA now can pass their decisions faster. So the UK is backing them. So I wonder how this is going to go, because if Xbox loses this case, then surely the other 9 districts that they wanted to bring on board, or 9 have actually said yes out of the 12. Sorry. So the EU and the US are the last ones to kind of make the decision here. But if they lose against the CMA, it's over, right? The domino effect, the thought process will change from the US and the EU. They'll fundamentally just kind of think, okay, well, we want to maybe jump on the train of they've said no, we want to say no too. Now, I'm assuming there, right? Like, who knows? But I would say that it would have a psychological factor. That's the point I'm trying to get across. It would definitely have a psychological factor in the decision-making from the US and the EU. Tim Tam says, CMA is run by dinosaurs. Well, they're looking towards the future, apparently. These dinosaurs do see that cloud streaming is going to be the future, and they see that Xbox is going to have an unfair advantage. Can we just give Xbox one unfair advantage, please? Like, just one. Like, just give them something. Give them an advantage. Not even unfair. Just give them something that they can say, you know what? We got this. Xbox doesn't have anything. They don't got this. They got nothing. Cloud streaming, though, they are pushing that forward, I think. Out of any other company, they are the front runner. But Sony is the front runner in terms of total player base, console sales, overall quality of exclusives. footprint across the globe in terms of consoles compared to Xbox. I mean, they have a competitive edge in a lot of spaces. Not to mention, Sony is the one that is making a lot of, not a lot, but certain third parties sign exclusive agreements with Sony that they can only put their titles on Sony and other platforms apart from Xbox. Right? That's not helping Xbox. They don't have a competitive edge there. They don't have a competitive edge with Square Enix. That's for sure. You know? Hector F, what did I miss? You missed everything, man. I made a huge announcement earlier, Hector. Huge, man. It's going to make headlines and everything. You missed it, man. You missed it. And I'm going to private this video after so you can't see the announcement. You missed it, Hector. Should have been here at the start, man. Shame. Real shame. Says Xbox looks significantly cooler. That's all I got. Well, I like your contribution. Thank you very much. In the bathroom at work, Microsoft's advantage is mostly in the PC market. I would agree that Xbox's foothold on the PC market is bigger than Sony. But all Sony has to do, as they've been doing over the last couple of years, is introduce their first-party games to PC, and they sell well, and they're delivered well in terms of they're not overly buggy. I don't think they're buggy at all. Spider-Man did a very good job in terms of its when it was released. God of War's on there now. Death Stranding, which is like, you know, kind of first party. Well, it is first party, really. Yeah, so there's definitely games that Sony is bringing to the PC market, and I think they've had a pretty soft landing there because they've got the street cred, and they've got an overall reputation of high quality first party exclusives. And if you bring them to PC and people don't have a PlayStation, they're going to buy them. They're just going to buy them as if they wouldn't. You know, that's going to happen. In the bathroom at work, he announced Laymen Gaming 2. Far out, man. Oh man, why'd you tell him? Why'd you tell him, man? Damn. Laymen Gaming 2 coming to a theater near you. Only through OnlyFans. Netsu says Square makes Nintendo games, so that would be disappointing. Yeah, you mean Square Enix makes Nintendo games? Yes, they do. Is that what you mean? Hector, I'll still leave a like. Appreciate you, man. Love you, buddy. But then it's a walking simulator, so that's always fun. I love Death Stranding. Death Stranding was probably one of my favorite games of the last generation. I'll tell you why. People may not have liked it, but name one other AAA extremely hyped game that took everybody's attention, that wasn't cookie cutter or somehow safe, or didn't do something that it was known for already, like a previous very well-known, okay, apart from God of War, okay, that kind of revolutionized what it was, absolutely. That was a AAA experience that took huge risks. But Kojima, new studio, Death Stranding, completely revolutionized what we could expect from Kojima. He delivered something that was, I think, cinematically amazing, storytelling-wise, loved it. And I think it was a complete package of a AAA experience, but not in any way, shape, or form was it cookie cutter. It was so like out of the box. And I think that is why people should at least respect it for trying something. You don't necessarily have to like it, but you should respect what he was trying to do. Something creatively well outside the box of what we conventionally would expect. You know? God of War, huge risks. Absolutely. I agree, Bunny. Yep. Absolutely. God of War did that. Who wants to watch a AI commercial? Because that's what we're doing here. It's AI generated hamburger commercial. Let's do it. Oh, there's no music. Oh, there's no thingy. Would you eat there? Looks like the burger's talking. Oh my god, that guy's mouth! AI's the future, guys. Look at this. Need I say more? That looks like something out of an 80s... Like an 80s horror film or something. That looks like Chucky after he's been burnt or something. Oh my god, what is that? This is like something out of the cantina in Star Wars. Whoa. 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 That looks like it. Hiya, Georgie. Alright, that's a bit, what a nice boat. That's a little bit weird. Holy shit, the guy's making out with a burger. Whoa, that looks like a clicker or something from The Last of Us. Jesus Christ. We come in peace. Oh, that's enough of that. That is crazy. Oh, should we watch? It's only 10 more seconds or 15 seconds. Oh my god, it's the burger apocalypse. We shouldn't have made all those burgers. All those cows raised up and they're like, you know what? No! That's all I got. This is like Judgment Day. Burger Blast. I don't know why that feels like confidential CIA, FBI shit or something. Is this like well, you've seen a UFO or something? Well, that was the weirdest generated commercial I've ever seen in my life. I still think that's actually one of the best things that we've watched together. That was great. That was great. Absolutely. What else is happening in the world of gaming? Okay, PS5. Oh, this is interesting. PS5 sales ahead of Xbox sales X and S by 15 million units. So recently we did see that rough figures of PlayStation was selling 38 million units since it was brought out in December 2020. 38 million units, that's a lot. To see them now ahead of Xbox by 15 million units, that would, quick maths, 23 million units or thereabouts that Xbox has sold. That's still a decent amount. That's still pretty good. They are definitely losing the console race. But if those figures are correct, right, which is still, I think this is just roughly assuming certain numbers, that would mean that Xbox is somewhat still staying in the market. I mean, if it had like 10 million units compared to 38 million units, then I would say, oh, okay. Now, I did recently do a piece on this where there was some figures showing that in March, PlayStation did outsell Xbox 75% to 20%. So they Xbox sold 500,000 units and PlayStation sold 2 million units. So they kind of outsold them by 75%. Something like that, right? So if that was to continue, then I would say that PlayStation is definitely dominating the market. And as we've gone on and as that initial dump of consoles that were purchased in the first 6 months has kind of washed out and people are seeing those first-party exclusives from PlayStation compared to Xbox, the numbers are definitely skewing in PlayStation's favor. There's just no two ways about it. Right? You don't even need data for that. Like, we just know, right? The general conversations over Twitter, the headlines, the games that are coming out first-party wise from Xbox, Phil Spencer's 40-minute interview, kind of in a space, in an environment of defeat that he was talking from. Everyone knows this, you know, that PlayStation is definitely leading the charge. But that's interesting to see that there are still, hypothetically, 23 million Xboxes out there. You know? Natsu says, I wonder when a PS5 Slim or Pro is coming. I think it's going to be probably released, announced at the PlayStation events. 25th of May, 1st of June, around that time. That's when we're going to start seeing it. E3's coming thick and fast, and I'm going to be covering a lot of that. It's going to be a lot of 4 a.m. shows and shit, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to be with you guys. We can watch it together. I just want to be with you guys. Leo says, Death Stranding almost made me buy a PS4 at the end of the life and a 4K monitor. Death Stranding was worth purchasing. I mean, if you loved Death Stranding, which I did, if I purchased a PS4 at the end of the life cycle for Death Stranding and played the entire thing, I would have said, hey, that was worth it, man. That was a great introduction to PlayStation's ecosystem. Because you would have got a lot of time out of PlayStation 4 still for a while, you know. Holy shit, this is running over. I'm just talking too much with you guys. Holy shit. This just in, Sony has seemingly signed a deal with Konami for Metal Gear Solid, Silent Hill, and possibly Castlevania, with Metal Gear Solid 3 set to potentially be showcased at the PlayStation Showcase this month. Who's excited for that? That'd be so sick. That'd be so sick. Another exclusive gone from Xbox. Gone from Xbox. Yeah. Where is Xbox saying if this deal goes through, they'll never recover? Because that's what Jim Ryan said. If the Activision deal goes through, they'll never recover, which is just horse shit. Nonsense. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. And it's time to see some Metal Gear remakes, right? It's time for them to re-enter the market. Like, I want to see that shit. Everyone wants to see that stuff, right? Everyone's excited for that type of thing. I know I certainly am. And to finish up, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Is this AI or not? Is this AI? I don't know if you can see the... Let me just move that out of the way. There we go. Is this AI? You know, last time I did the whole AI thing and I forgot to tell you. I don't know today. Have I put in that it's real or have I put in that it's not real? Okay, just have a quick think of that. Have a look at it. Is it AI or not? There's no hands in this one specifically. So you don't know if it's real or not. All right? Got to think about that for a second. I'll come back to that. And in other news, Xbox Showcase and Starfield Direct officially announced on the 11th of June. This happened a couple of days ago. But what's important is this is certainly a day for everyone to tune in. Because this will be something that really shows us what we can expect from not only Starfield, right? Starfield's important. We need to see something significant from Starfield, a significant showing. I'm seeing no, yes, no, real. Nick says real. Irvin says real. Is it because the other two I've shown you, or the other three ones I've shown you have been AI? Could be. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you guys are catching on to me. Yeah, we need to see Starfield deliver something significant in this showcase, right? They've got an entire showcase dedicated to Starfield Direct. We're going to see at least 30 minutes worth of gameplay, right? We're going to see at least 20 minutes, 25 minutes. And the Xbox showcase is important too, because we need to see fundamentally what's in store for Xbox. We need to see that we can be excited for the next 12 months. We need to see that we are invested in an so for the people that have purchased an Xbox. We need to see there's a reason to be invested in the Xbox ecosystem for the next 12 months. Because you're seeing a mass exodus. Not a mass, well, you know, it's probably a bit harsh, that language. But I'm going to use that anyway. Mass exodus of people selling their Xboxes and buying PlayStations. Now, that's very anecdotal. Thick Boy did it. I've seen several people on Twitter talking about that they've done this. It's probably a small group of people, right? But you're not seeing a lot of headlines of people on PlayStation selling it to buy an Xbox because they just got to have it. Right? It's pretty much people on Xbox that are leaving. So people want to see that there's a reason to stay around. And yes, there are current reasons for staying around. But that's kind of like Game Pass, Cloud. You know, what else? First party? Halo Infinite, man. Gotta stick around for that. Gears. Gotta stick around for that. Who knows, man? All right, and to finish off, is this real? I did show you 3 times in a row before. 3 times in a row I showed you AI. Was I really going to show you AI again? Yes, I was. This is not real. This is AI. How real does that shit look, man? Fuck, man, that is crazy. That is crazy. I love the AI game. Okay, and maybe next one is time to actually show you something real. Or maybe I'll just continue with the AI. And you'll think, he's shown us 4 things now that are AI. The next one has to be real. Has to be real. And I'll know that, and I'll show you something fake again. Interesting. Flower is wrong, someone says. That's a good point. I mean, it kind of does look wrong a little bit. That's a good... I didn't even think of that. That's right, yeah. It does look really real, doesn't it? Interesting. Dang. Now it's fake. Fake Nick. Chris. Fake. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Love you. Appreciate you. What a fun show. Great to be back. I will see you guys tomorrow with more news, reviews, and discussions. And have a wonderful evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you're at. I'll see you guys next time. Laymen out.